January 6, 1985, the Chicago Bears stood within reach of the Super Bowl for the first time. Their journey to San Francisco had been marked by challenges met, and in their wake, the Bears had left a trail of bruised opponents and broken records. But for Chicago, the final step from the NFC Championship game to Super Bowl 19 proved to be beyond reach. The bold journey had ended in frustration. However, the true significance of the Bears' 1984 season lay in the great distance they had come and the hard-fought road upon which they had traveled. The Bears won their division championship for the first time in 21 years. They were a special team, possessing the guile and finesse to avoid opponents, as well as the fury and muscle to meet them head-on. This winning combination of brains and brawn was the reason the Bears were successful in their battle for first. For these qualities forged the mental and physical toughness essential in the 1984 Chicago Bears' fight to the finish.
Down on the low ground. There you are.
In preparation for the 1984 season, Chicago's sights were set on fielding a balanced team with an aggressive defense and an explosive offense.
3, 6, go!
Determined to put their best foot forward, the Bears got a leg up on the competition early. Against Tampa Bay, quarterback Jim McMahon ran for one touchdown and threw for another in the Bears' 34-14 opening day victory. One week later, McMahon and the offense rang up 27 points, while the defense held Denver scoreless for win number 2. The Packers were Chicago's next victims as Bob Thomas kicked 3 field goals to give the Bears a 9-7 win and their best start since 1978.
I tell you what, it's the best start that we've had in a long time. And if we continue defensively and offensively to play like we're playing, you know, and control our central division, we're going to win this thing.
In week 4, playing without the injured McMahon, the Bears' good fortune suddenly took a bad bounce. Following a 38-9 loss to the Seahawks, the Bears continued to struggle in search of consistency, losing to the Dallas Cowboys 23-14. Dropping to 3-2, Chicago's fight to the finish was becoming a war. So against New Orleans in Week 6, the Bears called upon their most heroic foot soldier. Chicago was hungry for a win, and Walter Payton needed only 67 yards to become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Going to Soldier Field is always an event for Bear fans, and this trip was even more special.
This has got to be one of the greatest days, not only for him, but for the fans who sat out through 10 years or whatever of it. Oh,
through rain and snow.
And sleet and hail. But it's been, Walter has been the man who's made it for us these past years.
This is my first football game ever in life that I've seen outside of television, and it's the history of it that really brought me down here.
I've got my camera, I got everything ready. When he breaks this record, I'm going to be right here, and I'm going to say, yeah, Walter, I knew you could do it.
Few players have earned as much affection as the man known as Sweetness. And typically in Payton's stubborn pursuit of a Bear victory, the record just happened to get in the way.
2 to break the record. High formation. Quick pitch to Walter. Looking for the record. Cuts back. He's got it. He's got it on the 25 to the 26-yard line. Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher, surpassing Jim Brown. And that's the equivalent to Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's all-time home run record. And listen to the standing ovation.
The motivating drive for me has been for the athletes that have tried, but yet and still have failed to reach that certain achievement, and also the athletes that didn't get an opportunity to, like the Overstreets and the Delaney's and the Brian Piccolos. You know, this simplifies what the game is made of, and what I did out there today is a reflection of those guys, because they made the sacrifices as well, and it's a tribute to me to bestow this honor upon them. Thank you.
By gaining 1,684 yards in 1984, Payton raced by his competition, and even those he left behind acknowledged his greatness.
What can you say about his running? Just one of the greatest runners that ever played the game. But beyond that, he's a great blocker and a great pass catcher. So he does it all. He's a total offensive player. I just think he's great.
His athletic ability is unique. He boasts speed, strength, and staying power, as well as a determination that makes him unstoppable. Payton has reached a performance pinnacle that few players ever catch a glimpse of, let alone set foot on. Walter Payton's 13,309 career rushing yards place him above the rest as the National Football League's all-time leading rusher. Offensive lineman Jim Covert, Jay Hilgenberg, Kurt Becker, Keith Van Horn, and Mark Bortz were responsible for laying the groundwork for Payton and fullback Matt Suhey, number 26.
He's a terrific running back. He has a low center of gravity, and he has the durability of a Sherman tank, and he just keeps going. And he breaks tackles, and he does a lot of it on his own.
The stability of the Bear running game provided a stark contrast to the injuries that marked the quarterback situation. Two major injuries forced McMahon to the sidelines as the season entered the stretch drive. And Steve Fuller, his replacement, battled back from shoulder problems to lead the Bears into the playoffs. Throughout the year, Coach Mike Ditka was forced to start 5 different quarterbacks, and even cast the remarkable Payton in that role. Making life a bit easier for the various signal callers were receivers like Willie Gault, number 83. In a run-oriented offense, Gault caught 34 passes and averaged over 17 yards per catch. His wingmate, Dennis McKinnon, number 85, latched onto 30 passes, one more than tight end Emory Moorhead, number 87. Chicago's high-tech passing attack was the perfect complement to its hard-nosed running game.
McMahon, Payton to the left. They start McKinnon in motion. And inside handoff around. Payton wants to throw. Back on the left side. He's got McMahon at the 40. He's to the 30. He may score. He's to the 15 and the 10. He gets to the 5-yard line, first and goal.
Against the Bucs in Week 8, McMahon helped the Bears close out the first half of their season with a 5-3 record and a firm hold on first place in the NFC Central Division. While the Bear offense reflected Coach Ditka's imagination and daring, the defense took on Iron Mike's toughness. Relentless in its pressure, the Bear defense punished opposing quarterbacks. defense showcased its special kind of destructive artistry with 11 sacks in a Week 9 win over Minnesota. Then proceeded to deliver an encore performance the following week against the Raiders. When the reigning Super Bowl champions tried to intimidate Chicago with their pride and poise, the Bear defense responded by turning the Raiders black and blue. In a 17-6 win, Chicago's pass rush was like a wrecking ball turned loose in the Los Angeles backfield. The number 95, Richard Dent, emerged from the wreckage with 4 of the Bears' 9 sacks.
There's a wing to the left, slot to the right, back to throw Mark Wilson. He's going to go down! Another sack! This one by Richard Dent! Richard Dent having a sensational day! And the crowd, 59,000 strong, chanting defense, defense! The number 1 defense in the NFL certainly lived up to that billing today.
In 1983, Richard Dent was an unknown rookie. Last season, he was a defensive menace quarterbacks tried desperately to avoid.
When they double team and I'm one-on-one, I expect myself to get to the passer because I take a lot of pride in what I do, and I don't feel like one guy should be able to stop me.
Very rarely could one man stop Dent in 1984. And opposing offenses didn't find much security in numbers either. Number 95 tossed aside all obstacles on his way to leading the NFC with 17.5 sacks. But like all great pass rushes, the success of one individual is the result of the efforts of others. All-Pro Dan Hampton, Steve McMichael, Mike Hartenstein, Henry Wachter, and Tyrone Keys joined Dent in a quarterback's nightmare. In 1984, the defense recorded an NFL record 72 quarterback sacks, and the line wasn't the only unit dealing out the punishment.
Whatever the situation dictates, whatever it takes to put pressure on the quarterback, we'll bring them. We blitz just like when you got a headache and need aspirin. You do as much as you have to get the job done.
Blitzing defensive backs and linebackers left many quarterbacks in dire need of a couple of extra strength pain relievers. Chicago's sack total was impressive, but sacks weren't the defense's #1 priority.
We want to be aggressive, we want to be tough, and we want to attack people. You got to get back there, get your hands in his face, make the guy think about the pressure that you're putting on it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you got to sack him every time.
The constant pressure by the Bear pass rush rewrote more than one quarterback's script, as most passers were forced to seek survival rather than completions. Cashing in on the signal caller's dilemma were defensive backs Leslie Frazier, number 21, Gary Fensick, Mike Richardson, Dave Duerson, and Todd Bell, one of 5 Bear Pro Bowl picks. In 1984, the Bears fielded pro football's top defense, and their valedictorian status was earned by spending a lot of time in the classroom.
And if he comes out with
Chicago's defense not only hit hard, it studied hard under defensive coordinator Buddy Ryan.
If 46 blitz is called on second down, I think the brain in a player is good on defense as it is on offense, so we want to give them an opportunity to use that great power that they have.
We've got some great athletes on this defense, but at the same time, we've really got great strategy. When we come out to play, not only do we have good people in good position, but we have people that can think in those positions. And when you've got a mixture of that, I think something good's got to happen.
Left! Slim left!
Although we are very physical at times, the high-tech monsters of the Midway defense, that sounds pretty much what we like to be called here in 1984.
These rugged scholars also proved their genius in defending against the run. Led by linebackers Mike Singletary, number 50. Otis Wilson, number 55. And Al Harris, number 90. The Bears were the league's toughest team to run on. Taking a handoff against Chicago was like grabbing a hold of a hornet's nest, because it was only a matter of time before a running back got stung. While offensive excitement is a new joy for Bear fans, the defense remained a fierce constant in keeping with the team's proud past.
The trademark of the Bear defense has always been to play aggressive and smart, and hopefully we're holding up to that tradition.
Called upon to improve in 1984, the special teams at times commanded center stage. While punter Dave Fenzer's 87-yarder was the NFC's longest kick of the season, Bob Thomas provided the last-second heroics in a 16-14 win over the Lions, en route to a club career scoring record. The Week 12 victory upped Chicago's record to 8-4, and with the rest of the Central Division mired below 500, the Bears could clinch the title the following week in Minnesota. Chicago had waited 21 long years for its championship opportunity, and nothing was going to stand in the way.
Moorhead the tight end, Bryant in motion, rolling back to pass as Fuller steps up, throws it deep. He's got goal! He's got it for the touchdown! Fencing showing safety blitz here. Vikes pick it up, Wilson over the middle, quick pop, it's picked up by Todd Bell. He's to the 25, he's to the 20, 15, 10, 5, tiptoeing in for the touchdown! Todd Bell, and the Bears have blown the lid off this one.
The Bears went on to win 34-3, and Mike Ditka was showered with affection by a team he had turned into champions after only 3 years as the Bears head coach. In the Bears' fight to the finish, the opening round of the playoffs would be their final bout, unless they could score an upset victory over the reigning NFC champion Washington Redskins. From the outset, the Bears threatened, and then proceeded to back their threats.
Yo, 41, hey!
Chicago withstood the Redskins' best punches, then landed telling blows of its own.
Dennis in motion back towards the line, quick pitch to Walter, fakes the end around. Walter's going to throw, man wide open, touchdown Dunmore! Here's backfield, back to throw, Fuller on second down, square out, has his man. Goal breaks away, he may score, he's to the 50, he's to the 40, he cuts back to the 30.
Willie Gault's 75-yard scoring pass from Steve Fuller put the Bears ahead 16-3 in the third quarter. But minutes later, the defense gave up a touchdown that tightened the game to 16-10, putting the pressure back on the Bear offense.
We need a score, baby. Come on, baby. We gotta go. Come on, Jimbo. Let's go, Kurt. We need a score, baby.
Washington had never lost a playoff game at home. However, the 1984 Chicago Bears had little regard for the Redskins' sense of history.
Clock to the left, Deuce backfield. Fuller to throw on first down. Has time, gonna run up the middle. Throws on the move, got his man deep. McKinnon, touchdown, Chicago Bears!
The offense had built a commanding lead, allowing the defense the opportunity to zero in on its favorite target.
One more time, baby, one more time!
After flooring Joe Theismann 7 times, the Bears sent the Redskin offense down for the count.
Theismann back to throw. They're out of time. Winds up, throws another high lob down the near right side. And it's intercepted. It's intercepted by Mike Richardson. The game is over, and the Bears have upset the Washington Redskins.
Chicago's 23-19 victory was its first playoff win since 1963. The Bears had once again risen to the heights of their proud past, lifted by a group of men who had proved to be both earth shakers and record breakers. It had been a storybook tale of a team effort, and yet a few individuals had the opportunity to write their own personal chapter. 1984 was the Chicago Bears' finest season in 21 years. They had become champions by igniting their competitive fires with the indomitable will to fight to the finish.
In heaven, give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory.
Two tight ends! Tight eye left! Tight end off! Robin, get ready to beat a Mike back. Tight eye right, score right! Come on, Dino, let's go, let's go!
Back 77! Hook one, hook two!
Here he comes, I told you! Get him!
Let's go spread left slot, dash right, 75 on red. Ready?
Watch the fake! Watch the fake!
Jet!
Come on, that's a holding! Yeah, there it is, right there! Excellent job!
Now listen, great thing about football is every week you get a chance to redeem yourselves, all right? No matter what happens out there, every play is a ball game. Everybody's got to go 100.
Few roads in America are as fabled as the one leading to pro football's promised land. The road to Palo Alto and Super Bowl 19 was shaped and contoured by the men who traveled it. And even those who would never reach Stanford Stadium left resounding footsteps along the way. Desire and determination enabled players like Houston's Larry Moriarty to run past the dead ends and detour signs encountered by the lowly teams they played for. The trip drew its unique identity from hard runners and from hang gliders, such as Seattle receiver Steve Largent. The travelers also included a congressman's son and an Olympic gold medalist. Phil Simms helped the New York Giants navigate their way into the playoffs. Spectacular efforts defined a season in which every player sought a place in the sun. There were bright horizons for teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who earned a surprise trip to the AFC Championship game. The road to Super Bowl 19. It was glorious for some, hazardous for many.
Luther back to pass, quick pop over the middle of the slant. This time he gets his man, he breaks free, he's going to score! That's Duckworth! He's to the 15, the 10, the 5. He lost the ball! He lost the ball! Richardson recovers! The Bears get it back! He looked like he just gave it up! He flipped it right over his shoulder! I thought he was lateralling the ball! I don't know what he was doing! But the Bears recover at the 4-yard line on that bizarre turn of events.
The toss to Brown. Comes up fighting 4 yards, and he isn't going to have the first down. It's fumbled, and then it's flicked back to Cregan. It's intercepted. It is taken into the end zone for a touchdown by Gilbert. The Vikings try the gadget play, and it comes up and hits him in the face.
Those that charted an unconventional course to Super Bowl 19 wound up spinning their wheels in frustration. But there were moments when improvisation became a source of high-octane energy for teams accustomed to running on empty.
Dickey goes straight back in the pocket. Dickey looks, he wants to throw deep to Lofton. He'll never get out of bounds. Now he puts a touchdown. It's going to work. It worked.
The road markers on the way to Palo Alto were often confusing. More than a few got their signals crossed when seeking the proper direction.
Hey, who cares? I gotta go make another touchdown. Richard, what are you doing? Come on, man, let's go.
Some players found that the biggest obstacle to a successful journey was the man wearing the same uniform. Every road has its stragglers and vagabonds. The road to Super Bowl 19 was no different. On its path, many teams were rudely cast by the wayside. In New Orleans, the hangdog expression worn by the Saints mascot tells the story of a team that failed to post a winning record for the 18th year in a row. Meanwhile, Tom Landry put his best squad ever on the field. Unfortunately, it was comprised of players elected to Dallas's silver anniversary team. Another perennial contender, the Los Angeles Raiders, drew on their tough guy image and a hell-raising defense to earn a wild card playoff berth. But in postseason play, Seattle gave the Raiders a bitter taste of their own medicine. While the Raiders faltered near the goalpost, in Anaheim, the goalpost faltered near the Rams.
Fell down. Well, I'll be darned. The The goalpost to our left has blown over. So there's an NFL first, I think.
Bob, it's early in this NFL season for the '84 campaign, but we've seen quite a bit this year, haven't we?
We have seen some unusual things, indeed.
Though end zone celebrations were often out of sync, the pilgrimage to Palo Alto included a full complement of fancy dancers. An avalanche of emotion made for a spirited trip. And also making it special were the congratulations offered to history's #1 rusher from the nation's #1 citizen.
Mr. Payton, this is Air Force One. Stand by for the president, please. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Very best wishes. Congratulations again.
Well, thank you, and give my best to Nancy.
Everyone had a chance to be a hero on the road to the Super Bowl, but only a few wore the true look of a champion.
I don't know how much fun you guys are going to have, but I'm fixing to have a ball myself. Got a little butterflies? If you don't, work them up. You ought to have just a little bit of butterflies, just a little bit of shake. You get out there, stretch those joints a little bit, and kick their butts all over the field. Guy in front of you makes a play, you're glad for him. The guy next to you makes a catch, you're blocking for him. The guy around you is fixing to make a sack, you nail him right after he does make that sack. We're going for it, fellas, on 4th down. We're going to get 7 here if we're going to do it.
On the road to Super Bowl 19, the Cincinnati Bengals broke down in the driveway, losing their opening game to the Broncos.
We can still win this thing with a lot of wins to come. We'll look at this one and we'll learn a lot from it. We'll be okay. Keep your heads up, fellas. You didn't get knocked out of the playoffs. You just lost a ball game. We're not going to lose a lot of them.
The Bengals lost 5 straight games and seemed like a doomed army on a survival mission. They played hard, but in every way a team could be measured, they came up short. The Bengals made mistakes, many mistakes, but one mistake they never made was surrender.
If you were going to war and you had to have somebody in the foxhole with you, you would pick from this group because they cover their flanks, they never give up, they keep reloading their guns, and regardless of the odds, this team thinks they're going to win.
Trailing the division-leading Steelers by 4 games at midseason, the Bengals went from a joke to a juggernaut. While the Bengals took a firm grip on the steering wheel, the Indianapolis Colts ran Pittsburgh off the road to Super Bowl 19.
Mike Pagel rolls away from the pressure. He comes back right, looks down the field. He's looking for some help, throws it over the middle, and it is caught! It might be a touchdown! The immaculate reception! He scores!
With the Steelers staggering like a fighter on Dream Street, the Bengals' hopes for a title became a reality.
Hand off, no Boomer running around to the right. Throws into the end zone to Anthony Munoz. Touchdown!
No team ever looked so dead in September and so alive in December. The last time a team started so poorly and made the playoffs was the 1970 Bengals, and one of their quarterbacks was Sam Wyche. Once again, eyes shone brighter and hope shimmered anew, for a Steeler loss coupled with a Bengal victory in the final week guaranteed a Central Division title.
Protect that ball. You know, when you're in a ball game, it's going to be the 3rd, 4th guy that hitches going to take you down, so you got to be protecting the football, okay? And the best game you ever played right now.
You know how we go into every football game. You play physical. The first snap has to be that. Play loose.
You win this game, you're going to be a champion. You're going to be the Central Division champions. Play loose, play physical, and play smart. No mistakes, no cheap shots, no recoils. If someone gives you one, we're going to play a smart football game. It was a long time ago that we opened the season, and we finished it by talking about how far we had to go and how big the mountain was. You're right at the summit.
Get that friggin' team fired up. You're playing, you're playing tight what you're playing. You're not playing soft, you're playing tense. Come on, Rick! Keep your poise out there! Inside, Jimmy! Let's go, Guy Frazier! Right now, baby! Come on, Peter Koch! Come on, Peter!
Watch Boomer right here now. Watch the quarterback's head. It's the most important part of it. He's got to find the free safety.
M.L. Harris on the outside goes in motion. Anderson back to throw against the Blues. End zone, touchdown, Collinsworth!
Good job, my man. Get away, Stafford! All right, get away! Get away!
You remember cramps at Wilmington? You remember stomping the roaches? You remember the whole thing and all the way through from Denver to Kansas City in '05, and you're dead, and it's history, and it's over. And I really believe you're going to be the AFC Central champions, and that's the start of it. Okay.
Now we had to win, and we've got to rely on the Raiders and hope they got a big game coming up here. Has anybody heard an early score?
The Steelers must win to take the title in the AFC Central. If they lose it, Cincinnati's in.
Come on, Jimbo. Come on, Jimbo. Come on, Jimbo.
This one is still very much up for grabs.
Big play of the game right here.
The worst possible thing that could happen.
The Bengals' road to Super Bowl 19 ended abruptly. But winter is never cold for those with warm memories.
That's it. Don Meredith was here, he'd be singing the party's
All right. Party's over.
And in 35 seconds.
I think that's why we didn't invite him.
The road to Super Bowl 19 cut through a landscape filled with peaks of individual brilliance.
Scored side of 21. Marino back to throw. He sets. Fires the middle. Clayton's got it. 50, 45. He may go. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Miami. Clayton has the new record. That's 18 touchdown receptions in a season. He is the all-time record holder. Dickerson picks up about 9 yards on the play and a brand new single-season rushing record for the outstanding star from Southern Methodist.
Art Monk has just broken the National Football League record for receptions in a single season. The crowd is on its feet.
They should be. What a great record to break, and a well-deserved honor for Art Monk.
Now Charlie Joyner is the all-time leading receiver in the history of the National Football League. That's number 37, and he threw it to Jimmy Cefalo. Marino will get the football, and he has thrown his 37th touchdown pass of the season. That's a new record.
In 1984, Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins completed more passes in one season for more yards and more touchdowns than any quarterback in history. Unlike Marino, San Diego's Charlie Joyner has always been just a member of the supporting cast, never a leading man. But this year, after 16 seasons in the league, he finally saw his name in lights as he became the NFL's all-time leading pass receiver. While San Diego had a silver screen hero, Los Angeles featured a solid gold dancer. Eric Dickerson, number 29, set a winning tempo for the Rams, and the 2,105 yards he gained rushing were the most ever in a single season. Where Eric Dickerson is going, Walter Payton has already been. Since this country transformed rugby into football more than 100 years ago, no man has carried the ball as often or as far as Walter Payton. In his 10-year career, he has missed only one game, and the only thing greater than his talent is his heart, his unquestioned obedience to the God of guts. As Payton puts it, there's a voice inside me saying, you can always do better. To know the power of that voice is to see Walter Payton battle through a broken field. On the road to Super Bowl 19, Payton led the Bears to the division championship, and along the way, kept an appointment with destiny.
Quick pitch to Walter, looking for the record, cuts back, he's got it! He's out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher, surpassing Jim Brown, and that's the equivalent to Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's all-time home run record. And listen to the standing ovation.
Payton's remarkable record was equaled only by the spirit in which it was achieved.
The motivating drive for me has been for the athletes that have tried, but yet and still have failed to reach that certain achievement. And also the athletes that didn't get an opportunity to, like the Overstreets and the Delaney's and the Brian Piccolos. You know, this simplifies what the game is made of. And what I did out there today is a reflection of those guys, because they made the sacrifices as well. And it's a tribute to me to bestow this honor upon them. Thank you.
Walter Payton, a proud member of a unique fraternity of fighting men, and a player who has always traveled the paths of glory. On the road to Super Bowl 19, no team experienced more peaks and valleys of emotion than Jim Hanifin and his St. Louis Cardinals.
35. I thought that was against the rules. Putting that wave up there in the crowd. There, huh? Let's get a penalty on the.
Manny Perrin will hold, as O'Donoghue will try and win it for the Cardinals. It is up, it is long enough, it is good! A 46-yard field goal by Neil O'Donoghue, and with 7 seconds left, the Cardinals take the lead, 34-33.
Hanifin's Cardinals became the NFC's birds of prey. After years of nesting with losers and also-rans, the '84 Cardinals soared toward the playoffs. Quarterback Neil Lomax and wide receiver Roy Green helped realign the balance of power in the NFC East, scoring with big offensive bursts and setting up kicker Neil O'Donoghue's 11th hour heroics.
We wait the snap. Come on, Neil, baby. Good. The kick. It is good. Good. Attaboy, Neil. All right. Neil O'Donoghue, mobbed by his teammates.
During the month of October, St. Louis went undefeated, knocking off their key rivals and climbing to the top of the NFC Eastern Division. And a growing consensus believed that when the season was over, Hannafin's high-flying young team would still be on top.
Oh, I don't know about that. No, we've got to play better. I think the thing that's good is that I think we're capable of playing better.
Mitchell's in the backfield. The blitz is on. Here's the pass, long down the middle. End zone! Touchdown! But there's a flag down, and they're not going to give him the touchdown. I don't think so. There's a penalty flag thrown on the touchdown pass caught by Green. They're going to call offensive interference.
Pass interference. Number 81 on the offense. Receives second down.
In the chill of November, Hannafin's Cardinals flew south. 3 straight losses brought the Birds to within 13 seconds of playoff extinction.
The snap is high. Perrin gets it down. The kick is long. It's good. It's good. With 8 seconds left, O'Donohue puts the Cardinals on top by a point. 17-16.
The Cardinals needed to win all 3 of their remaining games to make the playoffs. And the New England Patriots were their first victims.
Huh? That was sweet. Oh, that was sweet. Nice, baby. Yeah.
Next up, the division-leading New York Giants.
Steps up, throws, and it's caught inside the 30. Mitchell 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown, and stop Mitchell on the 3rd and 5 play.
Now only one small obstacle stood between St. Louis and the division title. And as usual, St. Louis would have to come from behind in the second half to win.
26-20 Redskins. Back goes Lomax to pass. Lofts it up into the end zone. Got Green wide open. Touchdown, St. Louis Cardinals.
For one brief moment, Hannafin's team had the lead. But in this roller coaster Cardinal season, one more peak and one more valley remained.
It's good! With 1 minute, 33 seconds left to go in the game, Mark Mosley has given the Redskins the lead back. It is Washington 29-27.
It was do or die, and the season was on the line.
Dumps it out over the middle. It's complete to Pittman at the 31-yard line. He's pulled out. He's short of the first down.
They got to get the clock stopped.
Clock is moving. Cardinals are out of timeouts.
They got to kick the field goal.
They're going to try the field goal. It'll be a 50-yard kick.
They're not going to get it off.
40-yard line. 6 seconds. 5, 4. Here's the snap, a little low. O'Donohue gets the kick away. It's up in the air. No! The Redskins win the NFC Eastern Division title.
For 26 teams, the road to Super Bowl 19 proved to be a dead end. For some, pride and self-respect were the season's only rewards.
I'll tell you something about this football team. We all are in it together, and there are many other players that could have taken care of that game for us too. The thing that I'll always remember is the way they fought back.
The road to Super Bowl 19 was treacherous. Most vulnerable were NFL head coaches. As always, their journey was filled with uncertainty. A few would not complete the trip.
Loneliness is your only friend. A broken heart that just won't mend is the price you pay. It's hard to take when love grows old. The days are long and the nights turn cold when it fades away.
One of 1984's casualties was Les Steckel, a Vietnam veteran, and at 38, the NFL's youngest head coach. Steckel was a Marine major, but his Minnesota Vikings were soon in full retreat, and after 13 losses, he was replaced by Bud Grant, the man he had replaced 10 months earlier. Sam Rutigliano's 7-year career in Cleveland also came to a sad end. When the Browns lost 7 of their first 8 games, owner Art Modell was forced to fire his best friend. Some coaches fared better. The Rams' John Robinson made the playoffs and still courted the favor of owner Giorgio Frontiere. Kay Stevenson managed to ride out a disastrous 2-win year with the Buffalo Bills, while the sunlit season of San Francisco's Bill Walsh included 15 victories. But win or lose, these men share membership in an exclusive club where acceptance and insecurity stand toe-to-toe, and each must provide his own job definition.
And I don't know what it is, it's the thrill of it. I don't think you can ever experience the tremendous highs that you have in this business and also the tremendous lows that you have.
It's not a game to us. This is our profession. And we work morning, noon, and night to do the best job that we can in our profession.
I know this, it's the most challenging job that I've ever had, but it's also the most exciting, and in many respects, I think it's the most fulfilling.
It doesn't matter how much money you had, you couldn't buy my job. There's only 28 people in the world that have my job.
And you're just one of 28 football coaches trying to survive in, to me, the most competitive situation in America today.
Big game, they're all big. Come out there from the get-go, let's get the job done, let's fly around, have fun, cut and shoot, do what we have to. Let's get it done.
Don't pussyfoot around. Just don't hesitate. Just take it.
Am I correct in saying this now? Emmett, Rod? Emmett, Rod. Hey, Emmett, Rod?
I think the most frustrating thing is the fact that there are some things that you have no control over. Just none whatsoever.
Hey, Daniels, what the hell you doing out there? You gotta run up the goddamn football field. Don't dance around. That's horrible. I could get some girl to do that. Those girls on the sidelines can dance.
I love the game. I get excited. That's what I enjoy about it. I could not sit, when a player makes a mistake, I feel it in here.
Come here! Who's sending him in there?
Tackle his ass, come on.
Down! Lasky! Oh, God, Rick!
At some point, you're going to have to come down hard on somebody. At some point, you're going to have to say, that's it. We're not doing it that way, or we're not going to do it that way anymore. Or if you do that again, Schmatz or Jones or whatever your name is, it's going to cost you.
Remember what I always talk about on the days we win, the days we don't win? What kind of language and how do we act on the days we don't play well? Just like this. Right there. Guys complaining and griping and just play football. Play the best we can. It always works that way.
I mean, you fight as hard as you can to keep your head above water. You fight for survival, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just fighting for survival, every coach in the league.
Look me in the eye and tell me that ball was a catchable ball. Pardon me? Tell me that was a catchable ball.
I won't tell you anything because I wasn't even watching play. I had a man in this zone.
It had to have been an Olympic triple gold medal winner to catch that thing.
Hey, that's illegal. You're wrong. Hey, you are wrong.
And that's when you want to crawl into that fetal position and put the blankets over your head and just hide.
Dale, I warned you guys to look for that. There were 13 guys. We counted them. Boy, how can you make a mistake? I'm going to quit trying to help.
Douglas MacArthur said one time, don't ever give a command that can be understood. Always give commands that cannot be misunderstood.
Panther 28B. Panther on set. Panther.
Double F, 26. We've got to get the first down. We've got to get the first down.
That's not what we called.
This is not an exact science, football.
Hey, lay on him and don't let him get up too fast.
Problem with coaches are they don't know what they want to be when they grow up.
He'll cut it back. He'll make a 20 out of it. Oh, man, I'm dying. I'm dying, baby. Give me a first down, I'll relax.
I don't know what I'd do if I had to live with the fact that I didn't get the job done.
Hey, we played already 3.5 quarters, 3 2/3 quarters. We'll just take our licking.
The fear of losing is haunting you right to the time the game ends.
The emotions and the feelings that you get from losing probably stick with you longer than the joy of winning.
Winning is the key, and if you don't win, then sooner or later you're going to have to find a job, you know.
I ain't but two kinds, them that's been fired and them that's gonna get fired, and I've been both.
And we work in the most precarious situation probably in our society today. It doesn't make sense.
Sometimes even winning was not enough.
I guess isn't a tough way to make a living.
The Patriots' Ron Meyer became the first coach in NFL history to be fired at mid-season with a winning record. the pitfalls of the coaching profession made the road to the Super Bowl even more demanding. The road to Super Bowl 19 was a wide-open expressway paved with offense. However, a few still trudged along the old back road to a title and mounted their championship drive on a dirt road of defense. Dominant defense. In 1984, aggressive play was the rule, not the exception. Defenses focused their attack on the quarterback as the pass rush became their greatest weapon. Offenses were shattered by blitzing defenders who left quarterbacks stripped of their senses and the football.
Big play, 3 minutes left. Saints up by 7. Stabler to throw. Here comes the pressure. Sack! In the end zone! Football! Anything! Touchdown! And he widened ball. Stabler and the ball came loose. And Jeffco recovered.
In Seattle, Coach Chuck Knox and the Seahawks overcame an injury to star runner Kurt Warner, thanks to an intimidating defense. The Seahawks led the NFL with 63 takeaways, and 8 times they turned these thefts into touchdowns. Seattle's motto was simple: the football is not the property of the man carrying it at the start of the play. It is the property of the man holding it at the finish. This same belief was shared by a Western Division rival in Denver. The Broncos were second only to Seattle in takeaways, and led by veteran linebacker Tom Jackson, number 57, Denver's defense could bury an opponent like a Rocky Mountain blizzard. On a Monday night in October, Bronco head coach Dan Reeves elected to kick off so his defense could set the tempo.
Start off right on this guy. Right now. This guy's not looking for pressure. Run deal, Steeler, double zone. Ready? Don't jump! Tango! No!
On the game's first 2 plays from scrimmage, the Broncos turned 2 Green Bay Packer fumbles into touchdowns.
37 seconds. It's 14-0.
Good.
Let's get one more. Do it again.
This was a contest defense had to win, and Denver's did. On the regular season finale, the Broncos and the Seahawks collided in the Kingdome on the road to Super Bowl 19.
Come on, D, let's make a play. Let's go.
Denver beat Seattle at their own game, turnovers, and won the championship of the AFC West. Defense also won the championship in the NFC Central. Walter Payton is the heart of the Chicago Bears, but defense has always been its soul. The legendary Monsters of the Midway awoke from a 20-year sleep and savaged the NFL with a record 72 quarterback sacks and won the division championship for fiery head coach Mike Ditka. Ditka revived Chicago's tradition of toughness, and in the playoffs, the Washington Redskins were no match for the NFL's top-ranked defense.
Play as hard as you can on every play. Anybody can affect the outcome of this game. Let's make sure we do our best at all times. Be smart and let's go after them. Come on.
Yellow 41! Yellow 41! Touch me, touch it!
The Bears' 23-19 victory was their first playoff win since 1963. And it proved that in an age of offense, you can still win with defense.
Thine is the kingdom, power, and glory.
No team cast a more imposing shadow over the road to the Super Bowl than the San Francisco 49ers. They were led by Joe Montana, the NFC's top-rated quarterback. Montana was San Francisco's one genuine superstar, but the 49ers boasted a unique team chemistry that produced a volatile game plan. A high-flying aerial attack was complemented by a productive running game that enabled the 49ers to navigate the twists and turns of enemy territory. Fueled by such a well-balanced offense, the 49ers cruised to an unprecedented 15-1 regular season record. Despite his team's success, head coach Bill Walsh brooded on the sidelines all season long, as if he were delivering Hamlet's soliloquy into his headset. But the 49ers made opponents suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. No team in the NFL allowed fewer points, yet their defensive efforts earned scant notoriety. But in postseason play, the New York Giants learned the hard way that trying to move the ball downfield against San Francisco was a perilous endeavor. The flow of New York's offense was reduced to a mere trickle. In a 21-10 win, the 49ers defense made it impossible for the Giants to keep pace with a trio of Montana touchdown passes. Then in the NFC Championship game, San Francisco's defenders devastated the Chicago Bears.
Set the tempo for the World Championship, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Wedge it out of here right now. Let's go. My fight. Roll. Kill him.
San Francisco posted a 23-0 victory.
Calling the signals is Montana as Solomon goes wide right. The handoff is given to Tyler, breaks a tackle, past the 3, the 2, the 1. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers. Here's Montana rolling out the right side, looking toward the end zone, now throwing, fires. It's caught by Solomon. Touchdown for the
49ers were now on a collision course with the Miami Dolphins, winners of the AFC Championship game.
All right, let's come with it. We're going to wedge on the ball. Right, and then we go to work on offense, defense all day long. Let's beat them every play. Let's go. Come on.
The Pittsburgh Steelers traveled a rocky road to the AFC Championship game in Miami. But in a pair of season-ending wins, they had run roughshod over the Raiders and the Broncos.
Keep coming like that, Daddy. All
right. Their faces reflected the subtlety of their methods. Pittsburgh had thundered along the road to the Super Bowl, but with the end in sight, they were struck down by lightning. Dan Marino, the NFL Player of the Year, shattered the Steelers with 4 touchdown passes.
Second and 5 to the 41. Again out of the shotgun. Marino, deep drop, throwing deep upfield down the near side. Man open. Touchdown for the Dolphins. It is caught by Mark Doper.
28 teams had set out on the road to the Super Bowl. For Pittsburgh and Chicago, the trip was over. Now only 2 remained.
He looks, lofts to the corner of the end zone, net ball, and touchdown. That's 4 touchdowns in the ball game, and that's a new record.
For the San Francisco 49ers, for the Miami Dolphins, there is one more horizon to conquer. Beyond it lies pro football's promised land. Super Bowl 19 promised a larger-than-life battle between 2 towering teams. And both the Miami Dolphins and San Francisco 49ers inaugurated Super Sunday with the same high-flying flair they had displayed during their journey to Palo Alto. Joe Montana's first period scoring pass to Carl Monroe, number 32, climaxed a 78-yard drive that provided the 49ers with a 7-3 lead. Dan Marino responded by directing the Dolphins downfield without calling a huddle, a ploy that prevented San Francisco from sending in its pass defense specialists.
No huddle offense. They come up the line of scrimmage quickly again. San Francisco cannot adjust its defense.
Marino rolls to his right, flips to the corner of the end zone, complete to Dan Johnson for a touchdown. Just bing, bing, bing down the field in that 2-minute offense.
But in the second quarter, the 49ers' unique combination of force and finesse enabled them to score 3 unanswered touchdowns on successive drives.
Back to pass, Montana fires. It's caught there by Craig, gets it and goes in for a touchdown. Roger Craig taking the pass from Joe Montana. Good for the score, and the Niners are back on top. Get it in, go! Montana drops back, short drop, fakes once. He's going to run it himself. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers! It's a handoff given to Craig. Craig batters his way to the goal line. He goes in for a 49er touchdown. And the Miami defense just cannot cope with the 49ers now.
Now forced to play catch-up, the Dolphins fell victim to San Francisco's hard-charging pass rush. The 49ers' ferocious foot soldiers trampled Marino's protection and pressured a young quarterback normally accustomed to security.
Oh, we got to give him a little bit more time. We got to give him another half a second, huh?
But as those precious half seconds ticked away, San Francisco's defense tightened its stranglehold on the Dolphins. Miami was held scoreless in the second half, and what had started as a battle became a blowout. The 49ers had rung down the curtain on Marino's season-long magic act. And while the San Francisco secondary cast a shadow over Miami's receivers, the specter of Joe Montana continued to loom large over Don Shula's deflated defense. Montana's record-setting rushing and passing yardage totals earned him game MVP honors and led the 49ers to a 38-16 victory.
Get back, dog, get back!
Going back to pass on 3rd and 10, Montana. Looks over the left side, caught by Craig on the way to the end zone, and Craig goes in for the score. It's all over. Super Bowl 19 is in the record books. The 49ers have won it.
San Francisco's triumph was a tribute to total team effort. And in Super Bowl 19, the talents of 49 mighty men captured pro football's most magical moment.